Welcome everyone to Bonifabcustom as we have our fourth show of this week. It's kind of like a continuation of our pantograph, but it's a plasma table that attaches to the pantograph. So we're gonna build that today. I'm gonna show you just how we do it. So don't forget to subscribe. We have that giveaway tomorrow. No one knows what it is yet, but I do. And we'll get to that tomorrow. But right now, we're gonna build our plasma table. So to get into our project, we gotta make a couple of drawings, but the basics of it is that our table is gonna be 22 inches wide by 22 inches long, basically a square. We're gonna use 1.25 inch tube, and we're gonna have these slats that our workpiece, as we plasma cut, will sit on, and they're gonna be spaced about 1 inch to 1 1/8 inches apart. So we're gonna have about 20 of them in a row. Now that we have this, we know the basics of the dimensions, let's do some drawings. Now that our drawings are done, let's get into cutting some steel. The outside of the plasma cutter itself is going to be made out of 1.25 inch square tube. The spacers are going to be 3/4 by 2 inch rectangular tube, and with a thin wall. That's the material I have right now at hand. So let's cut that on the saw, deburr it, and then we'll put it on our table and tack it all together and start welding. So now we have the table frame all together. We're going to start putting down our spacers. So our material are 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch and 1 inch wide. We're gonna take each one, put them down, put a magnet to hold it square to the frame, and then we're gonna put a spacer. I cut some of these spacers. They're 1/16 in thickness, and they're basically the same material we're using for the top of the plasma table. So let's put that all together. We're gonna tack all that together. We'll make sure it fits, and then we'll weld it. So now that we have the base, the brackets all welded up, and our material fits inside, we're gonna weld some 3/4 inch National Course threaded rod. And we're gonna weld this to the bottom on all 4 corners. The reason we're putting this in is because when we have this actually on the base of the plasma table, we're going to be able to adjust the height or adjust the angle that it's sitting at, because when we have the pantograph on there, we don't know it's going to be perfectly parallel to the plasma table. So this is going to give us the opportunity to adjust it and fine-tune the angle, make sure that the movement of that pantograph is parallel to the table or parallel to the plasma cutter as we cut. So now we had some material sheared up. I have this sheared up from a local metal supply store because they can shear it a lot more accurate than I can. It's 1/16, 2 foot wide by 3 inches. And I had a whole sheet, 4 by 8 sheet sheared up because as I'm using my plasma table, these are gonna wear out. And I want to have a bunch of spare here just in case. So I'll be pulling them out and then putting new ones in. So let's install these, the sheet metal on top of the plasma table and see how it fits. And there you have it. Surprisingly, it actually fits and it looks pretty square. So I think I'm gonna flip this over, and I had a little afterthought to add a ventilation system on the bottom or like a slag runoff so I don't have slag going all over the floor when I start using this or on a table. So I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna cut some sheet metal on an angle to kind of get this slag runoff built, and then we'll get back to the top. So now our plasma table's flipped over. We're done our slag runoff, or we can use it as ventilation to suck out fumes when we're plasma cutting. Tomorrow we will actually mount the pantograph to this plasma table and we will try it out. So thank you again for watching Bonifabcustom. Don't forget to subscribe because we have our gut giveaway tomorrow. And thanks again for all the support.